I'm not one of those people who like to back away from tough subjects. And when I work with couples, I encourage them to deal with tough subjects. Those couples and those families that deal with the tough subjects and stay connected thrive. So today's topic is dealing with Thanksgiving COVID-19 conflict and anxiety. It's timely, right? It's important. There's been a lot of conflict within families about this, as well as politics. There's been a lot of division, as we know. And I am going to walk a fine line here because I'm going to tell you some thoughts I have about it, but at the same time, realize that those are my thoughts. And ultimately, the bulk of what I'll be talking about here is how to deal with family members who have different opinions than you do about what's healthy and what's appropriate during this time. So I have two biases. One is family is very important to me. During Thanksgiving and other holidays, but maybe even particular Thanksgiving, that's one of my biggest joys in life, to be with family. And I plan on that myself. So family is important. But here's another bias I have, and that is that scientific research is important too, right? It is. We base many of our decisions in life, from what we eat to our health, to what we drink, to, we depend on good research, not bad research. And there's a lot of that out there. And as a graduate school professor who has taught classes in research, including and mainly about how to discriminate between good research and bad research, I'm very much into good research. When it comes to research on how to protect ourselves from COVID-19, I pay attention to that, definitely. I'm not looking for somebody's opinion. I'm looking for research. And there's research that is done in such a way that makes us believe that the chance of that being true is higher than other research. And when it comes to the COVID-19, things have been changing all along. And we understand that. I mean, like, research grows upon itself, and we make changes. So it's really important to pay attention to that research. Like I said, I train in it. I've taught it. I'm a social scientist, if you want to call me that. Of course, I'm a therapist and a professor, but in a way, very much into evidence-based practices. You would not want me, if you were my client, to treat you with a kind of intervention that didn't bear out from research that it was effective, right? So at the same time, it's very important to accept that there are people that have different levels of risk tolerance when it comes to COVID-19, because connecting and being with family is very, very important. So as long as, and this is my opinion again, as long as the risk is still based on science, we cannot have zero risk during this very long, protracted time of this pandemic. We can't have zero risk. Zero risk means zero life, and then there could be other problems. So how do we go about this intelligently? That's for all of us to decide. I've done research, for example, on flights. I find that to be relatively safe, but there's a level of risk we have to accept. Being with people outdoors has much less risk than being with people indoors. This has all been borne out. Another big conflict is about mask wearing versus not wearing masks. Again, especially since I've been challenged by people that are anti-maskers, if you want to call it that. I do a lot of research. That's not what I'm finding. I'm finding masks are important. So enough about my thoughts, but the important thing is we need to build bridges, right? Enough of this division. Oh, it's been so much of it lately. So I say that stay true to your boundaries. Don't go past your integrity level. What you know is not okay with you. Now, when I say that, I'm not saying that you should bear no anxiety whatsoever. There are people that will risk much less than others, and the people that risk much less may need to tolerate some anxiety in order for them to have some connection with family. And family might mean just immediate family. How we deal with extended family, I know what people are telling us, but each of us has to decide what's right for us. So being true to your own ideas and thoughts based on research, not just based on emotion, you should be willing to tolerate other people being frustrated with you or angry with you if they feel like you're being safer than you should be. Likewise, if you're someone who wants to bear some risk, again, I have to be biased and say based on reasonable scientific research, and that your willingness to risk is higher than the other person, then just don't let their judgment get in your way. Be true to who you are. Now, you may not get together with that person, but then again, you might. What it comes down to is making compromises. Making compromises is very important in any couple and in any family. And we have to tolerate some tension. Again, the person who takes more risk or the people that take more risk are going to have to learn to maybe accept some restrictions that they don't want to have. The person who wants a certain amount of safety may need to tolerate some anxiety within their integrity so that they could have a connection with family. Again, we're trying to balance out these two very important values, which is family and health and safety. Very challenging. There's never been a more challenging time than right now in my lifetime. And I've been around more than a few years. The key is you want to make your connection stronger than any conflict. I say this to my couples. I say this to family members. We don't need conflict to divide us in any permanent way or even any temporary way. We need to make our connection stronger than any conflict. Your decision might end up being, we're not going to see each other, but that's temporary. Let me tell you something. The COVID-19, as we're dealing with now, will be behind us, whether it's because of vaccines, that we have some encouraging news, or other treatments, or whatever it takes. COVID-19 will be behind us, but our family will still be there. We want to preserve that, whether, again, we decide to be with family, or be with family in some modified way, or not be with family. We know this is temporary. We want your connection to be stronger than any conflict. Again, you want to look for compromises that you can live with. You know, what can I live with? Where can I pull back and still say this is worthwhile to me? Where can I risk and say I feel okay enough that I'm willing to accept that? So I just wanted to leave you with some of those thoughts, especially that you want to make your connection stronger than any conflict, any disagreements. Of course you'll disagree on these issues. Respect. Decide, make an intention to respect each other, respect differences, and do the best you can during these challenging times. So I wish you the best. I wish you health. I wish you safety. I wish you connection, whether it's live or on Zoom or however else you do it. And this is Todd Creager, making the world safe for love.